He hasn't cut his hair in a few months, so we're gonna go ahead and debulk his hair using a number 2 guard. I'm cutting his hair at that angle for a reason. His hair, as you can see, it grows that way. You always want to stay parallel with the way the hair grows. Now, he is letting his hair grow out, so I'm not touching the back whatsoever. I might just clean up the neck area, but that's it. Debulking first helps you see what you're doing instead of working blindly. I'm gonna set my guideline right behind the ear. He is letting the back grow out, so we're not gonna touch that. He's going for a peso pluma type cut. Be careful around the ear area. It's very sensitive and a very delicate spot, so it's easy to cut. Especially if your trimmers are 0 gap, just be very careful. Maybe have a separate trimmer that you use to bald out. That's what I do. He kind of looks like Canelo, doesn't he? He's a cool ass dude if you can tell. As I'm using the shavers, I want you guys to notice that I'm flicking up at the top very subtly. You don't want to shave all the way through on this step because you want to have enough hair in the middle to fade into the next layer. So be careful, please. Take a good look and notice that I'm only using one of the heads on the shavers, the very bottom one, the one that sticks out the most. So I'd recommend doing that, especially on tight areas like this. Next, I'm gonna go with my clippers wide open and we're gonna go up about 1/2 inch, flicking up at the top, getting it prepared for the next layer. Because the burst fade is a curved fade, use the corners of your blade to make those guidelines. It'll help tremendously. The area does get a little tighter around the mullet, so I'm making sure not to go super high in that area. Now I'm gonna close the lever and I'm gonna work that guideline out at the bottom, making micro adjustments with the lever to work it out. I can't stress enough how important this area is. Make sure you get a really good blend from the shaved spot to the number 1. That's gonna make your fade pop. That's gonna make that big difference. With the number 1 guard, I'm gonna open the lever and we're gonna go up another 1/2 inch and flick out at the top. Again, I'm being very careful with the back right next to the mullet. Make sure it's a little tighter there. I close my lever, now I'm gonna smoothen the bottom layer. If you're a beginner, you can do this haircut too. It might just be a little slower, but don't worry about time, just worry about mastering the technique first. At this point, the fade looks fine, but I'm gonna slap on the 1/2 guard and we're gonna make micro details. Man, that 1/2 guard is my baby right there. That's what's really gonna pull everything together and make it look extra crispy, extra smooth. This is that tool right there, man. That's that tool. There is still a really heavy area on top of the fade. I'm gonna use my thinning shears to fix that area. If you don't have thinning shears, boy, you better get some. They're gonna make your life a whole lot easier. If you don't know what thinning shears do, they're just cutting layers off the hair. So sometimes people want to keep that length, but they want to remove thickness, and this is a tool you use to do that. So again, this is just taking off layers. It's good for those people that have really thick hair, but they want to be able to manage it better, so get them. Get them if you don't got them. I'm gonna grab my liners and I'm gonna start from the bottom and curve my way up to the corner. Whenever you're cutting into anything curved, you just want to use the tip of the blade, just the very end. I trimmed about 1/4 inch off with the scissors on top. This is the part where I like to dry the hair just to see if there's any imperfections. You don't want to leave it wet because when they go home and the hair gets dry, it could be a whole different haircut. Now I'm going to grab my razor and we're going to start doing the lining. Be careful not to push it back. This is the end of the video. Make sure to like the video and subscribe. See you on the next one. I drop 2 videos a week, but if you want to see any specific content, let me know, I'll make them. Any reviews, you name it, I got it. Peace out.